Good afternoon, everybody. Happy December 3rd. It is Giving Tuesday. And what better thing to think about today than who to give your cash to? I hope you all have some really great charities. I hope you find my guest today another worthwhile option in your Giving Tuesdays. My name is Cody Hand. This is the Speakers Collaborative Studio Session. Every week we talk to aspiring speakers and authors and those who are experts in their field and thought leaders. And we give you an opportunity to communicate as well. So feel free to hit that comment button. Give us a thumbs up if you can see this. And without further ado, I'd like to bring Kerra Bolton back to the stage.
Whoop, whoop. Hello. Hi, Cody.
Kerra Bolton, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am ecstatic to be here today. It is a brisk, it might be 40 now. I realize we don't have any snow and our friends up north do. But I've got my Starbucks that I don't normally buy, but I spoiled my kids today, so we got Starbucks. How are you?
I am doing well. It is a balmy 80-ish degrees here. So it's nice and warm. So I see you in a sweater and I'm like, ooh, I feel cold. I'm happy.
I had to find the scarf and the gloves today. I walked over to lunch and it was cold enough to need to bundle up. So
oh my gosh.
Here we are. All right, Kerra Bolton, you are no stranger to the Speakers Collaborative. You were in our very first cohort. You were on stage gripping a podium feverishly.
Yes.
And you are no longer gripping the podium feverishly. You are an accomplished and amazing presenter. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since you appeared in the studio. I believe it was in June.
Wow, my life has completely changed. I live in a new place that I love. It has a spiral staircase. It's very like 1940s, old classic Hollywood. I am teaching memoir classes in partnership with Narratively. And the biggest, I got a chance to present at a women's leadership and healing retreat in Tulum, Mexico, that really changed so much of my life. And I also got accepted to the Green Olive Arts residency in Tetuan, Morocco.
I like how you roll that R. You definitely live in Mexico. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what this residency looks like.
Well, it's fabulous. It's the month of February. I will be in northern Morocco. You could literally like walk to Spain, southern Spain from where I am. It's got a confluence of different cultures. So you've got the Moorish from Spain, Jewish, and Muslim cultures all together. And so I'll be doing a couple of things while I'm there. One is that I'll be continuing my work from Return of the Black Madonna, Water in My Bones, the story about me learning how to swim, dive, and map sunken slave ships. But this time I'm going to northern Morocco to look at the slave trade from a different perspective, the impact of it, both historical in the 15th century and contemporary, because during my research and talking to other artists who participated in the program, I'm so excited, I'm like talking really fast, is that there is quite a bit of human trafficking still going on. In this case, it's Nigerians who are sort of being tricked to go to Europe, like for a better life there, and so there's a lot of sort of human traffic from Tangiers into northern Africa. So I'll have an opportunity to meet with people, talk to people about that, participate in the local arts community, and teach my signature writing with the ancestors at the local university there. So it's going to be jam packed, and I'm going to be working on my own book, my memoir, Water in My Bones.
Wow. That's a lot to cram in 3 weeks.
I know. I don't know how I'm going to do it all, but I am.
Well, we have faith that you're going to do it well. I think it's fascinating that you're focusing not on just the historic slave trade, but on modern day. I call it modern day slavery, which
It
popular
is.
culture, human trafficking, which is a huge topic here in the states. Human trafficking continues to be on the lips of a lot of policymakers, and maybe part of the reason for that, Kara, is we haven't dealt with the history in our own country and how to stop that. So wow, that sounds fantastic. Um, Anything else on your mind before I turn it over to the solo session?
What else is on my mind? I mean, I'm really all about my Moroccan residency because there's so much that I'm going to be able to learn that I'll be able to bring back to Western audiences in terms of art and resilience and my own work, being able to teach. In fact, I have a travel memoir class coming right when I get back in partnership with Narratively. So it's not like, oh, this is a vacation. Like, this is an intense learning experience that I get to share with the world, literally. So I'm super excited about it.
That's right. And we started down this path because you are the founder of Woodbine Ventures, which is kind of the umbrella company, right, of
Yeah.
all of your projects. It's a nonprofit, and this is in furtherance of the work of that nonprofit. So I think for anybody who is looking for a Giving Tuesday opportunity, we do have a nonprofit tax status for you, and you can write off that contribution. So, Kara, every week we give our guests a moment to shine by themselves, to be unquestioned and unfettered.
I want feathers.
Well, you'll want them if you live here. It's cold, but unquestioned, and give you the chance to shine. So I'm going to give you 5 to 10 minutes. If you run out of stuff to talk about, tell us your favorite peanut butter cookie recipe, and I'll hop back on as soon as I get the cue. All right.
Okay, here we go.
See ya.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kerra Bolton. I am the daughter of Sandra, who is the daughter of Doris, the daughter of Queen Esther, and the daughter of Vincent. And I am super excited to present myself and my work and my ancestral work with you today, to just talk about how interconnected we are. And I know that sounds like such a corny topic, but it's something that we need to be reminded of with all of our social and political divisions. And I am this, and this is me. But genetically speaking, we all come from the same man and woman. And I think we need to remember that more. I think we need to remember that we're more alike than we are different. I think that it is time for us to tell ourselves new stories about who we are and why we're here. Like, yes, we want to give our families the best possible life that we can. We want to leave a legacy. We want to be kind to one another. We want our side to win, whether that's politics or sports. But at the end of the day, we're human beings and we share this planet together. And I'm all about doing the work that unites us more than divides us. And I just sound like George Bush there, but I'm about doing the work that unites us, to talk about, even in talking about the transatlantic slave trade and the history around that. It's about this major movement. It wasn't just, Africa and the United States. It was global, and it really changed and created the modern era that we now live in. And I am super interested in learning about that because I think that history has lessons to teach us today. And we need those because with technology, even though we have the opportunity to come closer together, more people feel lonely. They feel isolated. I know I do. I live in a beautiful community, and sometimes I feel really lonely and isolated. And I bet that there's somebody who's watching who feels the same way. And I think that by tracing our family stories, whether we had a great relationship with our family, or whether it's strained, or whether we don't even know who our family of origin is, I think that in tracing these stories, we get to learn about ourselves and each other. The other part of this story is me learning how to swim and dive and map sunken slave ships. And I realize when I talk about my swim journey, I connect with so many other people, regardless of race or social class or political affiliation, because everybody immediately tells me a swim story. Like they tell me about the first time that they learned how to swim, or whether their mom or dad knew how to swim, or if they're afraid of the water. And it's just something that communicates that we're all human, and it helps connect us. And so, oh, I guess I should talk about my residency some more. Anyway, I am also the CEO and founder of Woodbine Ventures, which is a nonprofit devoted to supporting the work of Black creatives in film, publishing, and other media. And we have an Indiegogo campaign for the Morocco residency. So you can look it up. I think it's Mapping Art and Resiliency, or you can just look it up under my name. We just launched it yesterday, so we have time for contributions. If you want to support the work, again, it's not like, oh, support a trip. It is really supporting the work at a time that is needed. This is a time where artists are needed. No matter what happens in the world, we still love to look at films. We still love to read. I hope you love to read. We get moved by painting and music, and arts are important now more than ever. So, Cody, I'm just so thankful that you gave me this platform to talk about the things that matter to me, and I hope that I find connections with others. So I'm going to end my solo time. I can't hear you.
I always mute it and never. Anyway, that was great. I really appreciate it. I actually was on your LinkedIn profile right now, looking for the link that is really long. So I'm just going to ask people, instead of putting the link in the title bar, run over to Kerra's LinkedIn page. And remember, her name is spelled different than the other Kerra in my life, which is, her name is spelled Kerra Bolton. And she's got a really good LinkedIn profile, Woodbine Ventures. Kerra, tell me, what is the one thing that intimidates you the most about this residency?
Oh, not learning Arabic. So I've been teaching myself 5 minutes a day of Arabic, and I know they speak a very specific dialect there. So, and fortunately, because they're so close to Spain, they also speak Spanish, which I don't want to say I'm fluent, let's say competent, bordering on fluent. So I think I'll be able to get around now that I know that they also speak Spanish. So it's not such a big deal to learn Arabic.
I think they're pretty good at French too.
Yes, but I don't speak French.
Okay. So, Kerra, you were one of the earlier adopters of the Speakers Collaborative. Flew in from Mexico in 2023 to be on our stage. Went through the process with us, got your footage, got your stuff, and you now serve on the Speakers Collaborative Advisory Board. And just this year, we've launched a new cohort style model that we're hoping to expand in 2025. A couple of weeks ago on Veterans Day, I announced that I'd be doing a collaborative specifically for veterans. And my goal is to get sponsorships so that those veterans don't have to pay the tuition to be part of the Speakers Collaborative. It's one of the many ways that I'd like to give back to those who gave everything for us. Where I am today, and you may have seen this earlier, I posted a job posting. I'm actually putting 2 postings up for the collaborative. I decided to take my own advice and focus on the 20% that I'm good at and let somebody else focus on the 80% that I'm not that great at. So we're hiring 2 positions. One is a sponsorship. I can't remember what we called it. It's a sponsorship sales, whatever, somebody to go get sponsorships. The other is a speaker recruiter. And as you know, to get 96 people into the Speakers Collaborative, which is my goal in 2025, I've probably got to talk to 960. Well, I don't have time to do that. And so these 2 postings are up now, and we are looking for qualified people to work for those. The reason I'm bringing this up, Kerra, is because you know as well as I do that the power of storytelling changes lives. And I remember when you were on our stage and the stories that you told, even though you were gripping the podium, the stories that you told changed lives in that room and for those who have watched you since. And I can think of no better healing to provide for our servicemen and women than hearing from their own comrades and hearing their stories. Now, you teach a class on writing those stories with the ancestors. What have you learned? And I've got a specific answer that I'm hoping you answer.
Okay.
What have you learned about writing about the past and writing with the ancestors that provides a different look for those who are writing?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think first you have to learn to listen to what your ancestors are saying. And the second thing, and this is what my ancestors told me, is that they want me to be free. And I want to go back a little bit to the veterans piece for a little bit, because this is so important. My father served in Vietnam in the Marines, and he never talked about it. And yet, my relationship with him, there was such a big gap in the relationship. And I believe that had my father told me his story, he wouldn't have died without us talking. And I think that's why it's so important for veterans to tell their stories, because there are huge gaps of information and connection that we're missing without them. And I know that that's not the answer you wanted me to give, but that's the answer I've got.
No, it's a perfect answer. I really love that you did that. You know, my father was also in Vietnam, and we don't talk about it very often. And I think a lot of people in that generation could really use some cathartic talking. You kind of got close to the answer I was looking for, which is we're not just looking to address the wounds, we're looking for the liberation for joy. Tell me what you mean by that.
Yes. So, one of the biggest things is that in my work is that people want to talk about the ancestor trauma, and trauma has become a huge thing in North American society. And it's important that we deal with it. I'm not minimizing it, but there's also joy. And if you don't find the joy, you're just going to be stuck in the trauma. And I always say that I have a hard time thinking that my enslaved ancestors never fell in love, never laughed, never told a fart joke, never did anything but be sad and enslaved. And so, by robbing them of that, then I'm also dehumanizing them. And that's what their oppressors did. So why would I do the same thing? And why would I miss out on the gift of joy? So I could just stay in the trauma. I think we're all robbing ourselves when we just stay in the trauma.
Well, first of all, I'm going to mark on my bingo card because I never thought we'd say fart here on the studio. Here we are. We've done it. I think that's so important because it talks a lot about where I think most of us live. We live in the trauma, or we live in the addressing of the trauma, and we fail to go to that next step. Is once you've addressed it and you're free from it, you're free from the bonds. You'll never be free of the trauma, but you're free from the bondage that that trauma provides. There's another step to there, right, Kara? It's not just that you're free. It's free for what? And that's
Exactly.
joy, right? I don't believe we were created to live in oppression. I believe we were created to live in joy. And
Absolutely.
I really, it's what you're doing is so unique, because so many people who write and research and study and address the historical problems, not only of our nation, but of our world, they do it from the standpoint of, we have got to right this wrong. But you're taking that from just righting the wrong, which is important, to, but once you write it, what's next? Once you address it, what is next? And that is joy. And you know, what you're going to be doing in Morocco, for me, is much more than just studying the history and writing about the present. It's going to be doing both of those with the goal of, we were created to experience joy. And even in the oppression, you're created to experience joy.
Yes, and I'll be doing it in a beautiful, vibrant environment too. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be in this, log cabin that's just wood. I mean, although that can be very lovely, but I'm going to be in the vibrancy of Morocco and experiencing different cultures. So there's joy that comes with that, because then when you have a place of joy, when you stand in your joy, then you have so much more energy to do other things, no matter what those things are, whether it's caring for your family, your community, donating to causes you care about, working a job that you love. Like, you can do that when you come from a place of joy. But if you stay in the trauma, it's just going to suck out all the energy and you're going to miss the best parts of life.
I want to thank Kevin Goodnight. He's chiming in. Y'all are awesome. Great to listen. Kevin's just released a new book. He's a big LinkedIn dude on fatherhood and on being a great dad. Kevin's also, I think he's on a sobriety journey. I don't think that. I know that. And so if you have a chance, go check out Kevin Goodnight on LinkedIn. Great guy. Also had a couple of comments from Nicole Lawrence. One, she loves this. It's awesome. She also wants feathers.
See, everybody wants feathers.
So, Nicole, I bet my 15-year-old has a feather, something that you can borrow, or you could take it, actually. It's probably sitting on the floor. We do have another LinkedIn user who's talking about the veterans initiative that we have, that loves that. Again, to Kara's point, we got to talk about these things. We have to talk about them, not just for the veterans, but for the rest of us, for our families to thrive and heal. I think it'll take us to the next level. Kara, what's on your mind? What are you reading these days?
What am I reading? I'm reading about cultural books about Morocco so that I can understand the culture. Because I'm going in February, and so by the time, and I know that I will mess up a million times, but I want to make sure that I mess up in unique ways. So I'm going to read the cultural books about Morocco.
Oh, I love that, messing up in a unique way. There's a lot of comments about failure these days, and wearing failure like a badge. I love failing in a different way, right? I don't want to fail the same way every time. I don't mind failing differently. So I love that. That's really cool. So you're reading books on Morocco. Are they in Arabic?
No, I am not that good. I'm on Duolingo, just like matching the letters and the sounds. That's where we are at this point. But I'm doing really well at that.
You know what? That's awesome. If I knew Arabic, I would speak to you in Arabic.
I wouldn't even know what you said.
I don't. Well, me neither. But anybody in the LinkedIn or YouTube universe, if you want to talk to Kara in Arabic and give her some coaching,
That would be awesome.
All right, so you're doing that. What else is going on with Woodbine Ventures?
Well, we're just getting ready for an exciting year. We are going to be entering sort of a rough cut of Return of the Black Madonna, about a 15-minute rough cut into the Puerto Aventuras Film Festival, which happens in April. So this will be the first film festival that Return of the Black Madonna will debut in. So I'm super excited about that as well.
I'm really proud of the fact that the very first showing of the Return of the Black Madonna on a big screen was at the Speakers Collaborative.
Yes, it was so great to see it on big screen because it'd been editing on laptops and stuff. And so to see it just big and live, it was so special for me. And I hope for the audience too.
It was special. Because we had that first one in an actual movie house, we were able to project it on the screen. And I remember vividly thinking right ahead of time, we should probably watch this before the audience comes in so that we don't lose our composure while they're watching us. And so we walked out early and watched it before everybody else got to see it. And it was amazing for me to know that we were part of that journey with you, Kerra, because it is such a special project. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Return of the Black Madonna, as Kerra said, is about Kerra's journey, getting over a generational fear of water and learning to dive and map sunken slave ships. And to her point, it's not just to say that it was a thing. It was to free up generations of trauma for joy. It's amazing.
One of the interesting parts, I hope I have time to talk about this, is many of the enslaved Africans who were on these ships were from different communities and they didn't speak the same language. And they kind of created this Morse code with their body to send messages to those who were on top of the ship. I don't know what the proper name is for that. But to me, it was like they were able to find community even under the worst circumstances. And in places in Latin America, South America, like ship actually means something kind of like friendship, kinship. So people are able to find community under the worst of circumstances, and that too is joy.
Maybe that goes back to how you started, which is we all are descended from the same couple. Mm-hmm. And we all speak the same basic human language and have the same basic human needs and the same basic human desire for joy.
That means we're cousins.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy to be a cousin to Kerra Bolton.
I'm happy too. And I make some good mac and cheese. So I'm down to be your cousin.
Speaking of, you made mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. How did it turn out?
Oh my God, it was so good. And I knew the ancestors were talking to me because they were like, stop trying to be cute with the mac and cheese and use the spatula and I poured in a bunch of seasoning. I got in there with my hands. Like I smelled like cheese for 3 days, but it was so good.
I bet that's the first time a really good Southern mac and cheese was made in that community in Mexico.
I bet it was. I mean, like 3 different types of cheese. It was perfect. Like it had the perfect brown crust. It was delightful.
And I bet it won't be the last.
No, it will not.
All right. So we got 4 minutes left, Kerra.
Okay,
you have any questions for me? Yeah.
So what is your biggest wish for 2025 with the Speakers Collaborative?
That's funny that you asked that, because yesterday I spent the first Monday of every month as a thinking day, and I spent it mapping out 2025. So I'm going to look right over here and tell you what it is. So my goal for the Speakers Collaborative is to hire those two positions, sponsor recruiter and speaker recruiter, to have at least 6 cohorts. That means 6 collaboratives throughout the year. One that is dedicated to veterans and is paid for by somebody other than the veterans. And really it is to grow the alumni class of the Speakers Collaborative to the point where we are a growing community of people who both support and encourage each other and help each other launch. The other thing that I'm trying to do, Kerra, in the Speakers Collaborative is to make sure that people understand it's not just for people who want to give keynote speeches. It's for leaders who want to have a better command of their audience. It is for authors who want to sell their books. It is for politicians who want to get better in their presentation skills, and pastors who want to do the same thing. And so I'm really excited about where 2025 is going to take us. I'm nervous as heck that I can squeeze it all into 1 year, but I'm going to do it. The best place to start is where you and the other advisors of the collaborative encouraged me to go, which is that mini course that I launched a couple of months ago, available on the website. Did a post this morning about it. It's $49, and it is a great Christmas gift for those of you who want to help out with your friends instead of giving them some cheap tchotchke that they're going to throw away in 6 weeks, or an edible gift that they're going to pack on the pounds and have to work off. Give them the collaborative and let them experience some opportunities to grow and thrive in their own work.
I mean, I'm glad you said that because in my other life, I'm also a financial writer, and I'm writing an article about what should Gen Z do for the end of the year and to prepare for the new administration coming in. And one of the experts said that they should upskill. So public speaking, having command of the audience is one of those essential life skills that you'll need. So if you do have a Gen Zer in your life as well, upskilling is very important. It's a great gift.
So we have two fantastic opportunities for gifts. The first one is mine, which is the Speakers Collaborative. And I would love it if you would splurge and spend the money on the full course, but also the mini course. The second one is Kerra's got a couple of opportunities. The first is today's Giving Tuesday. And Kerra, we want to make sure that Woodbine Ventures is properly funded to continue this great work. So go to Kerra's LinkedIn page and look at that Indiegogo link, and let's give her some cash. The other one is Kerra is teaching a course on narratively. Tell us again about that, Kerra.
So I was teaching Writing with the Ancestors, which is my signature course, but I'm moving into travel writing. So I will be teaching a travel memoir writing course with Narratively in March. So I'll have to come back and tell you guys all about it.
I can't wait. Is the registration open for that yet?
No, it's not.
Okay. So friends, go to Narratively and sign up for alerts from Narratively, and they will send you the information for when those classes open. Kerra, my friend, do you have any final words for us?
We'll definitely go to Indiegogo and check out the Morocco residency. You're going to be doing much more than you ever think. And just a huge thank you to you, Cody. I mean, like, we talk to each other off camera, and I think I have made so much growth this year, both personally and professionally, and it would not have been without you, Cody. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kerra. Thank you for being a friend and a client and a speaker. So everybody else, thank you so much. This is actually going to be the last studio session for the year. I'm going to take the rest of December off to get ready for January. If you would like to be a guest on the studio session, shoot me a message on LinkedIn or email me, cody@codyhand.com. If you would like more information on the Speakers Collaborative, check us out at thespeakerscollaborative.com. And if you want to know more about Kerra Bolton and the amazing work she's doing and to follow her journey, she is on every social media platform, but especially Instagram and LinkedIn under Kerra Bolton. I'm going to put her name up here real quick just so we can all see it. So Kerra Bolton is her name. And Kerra, thank you so much. Have a fantastic day and enjoy the balmy 80 Mexican degrees.
Thanks, Cody. You too.
All right, hang on just one sec. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody else. Everybody, thank you for joining us, and feel free to contact me for anything. Cody@codyhand.com. Have a great day.